Moving on to the Dallas Stars. Jamie Benn has finally returned for a season debut on Tuesday night against the New York Islanders. Um, Fortunately, the game ended pretty controversial, a pretty controversial ending. Mikko Rantanen, unfortunately, had a uh, pretty dirty play, I guess you can say. It was not good. Patrick Roy was very, very heated about the moment. He gets pushed in. He kind of leads his weight into the Islanders player, which is obviously not a good look at all. So hope that guy's all right. Fortunately, that was a really rough way to lose a game and not get a point out of that game against the Islanders. You can say what you want about the goalie interference, but again, this team needs to play better at the start of games. It is critical. It's critical. They can win all these games, but they have these nagging issues that keep on dragging with them while they're winning these games. They're just on a 5 game win streak, so it feels bad to just rant about this stuff. But the Islanders at home, they've been a pretty mediocre team. They're having a decent year this year, but you need to have those fast starts, especially at home. It's just disappointing to see that they cannot fix that. Maybe Jamie Benn. There's nothing that I don't think Jamie Benn returning is the biggest help. I think that getting your captain back, the leadership is a big, big help, but I don't think he adds too much skill wise on the ice at this point in his career. So, hopefully that's something. Hopefully that's something that they can get, figured out. Because it's time's starting to tick. Time's starting to tick on that issue getting fixed. But
Or
anyways,
you cut it. I couldn't hear the last part.
just saying they got to get this stuff. Hopefully they can get it fixed because the time is ticking.
Yeah,
Still
for
early
sure.
in
I
the
mean,
year.
fresh off those four straight wins. Fresh off those four straight wins, you do like to see the streak extend, but you know, bad way for that to end. Understand why most fans are upset. But as far as the start goes, I think generally you can't be too upset, right?
No, no, I mean,
And a new era of Glenn Gluckson, right? Different era,
yeah.
but
You thought it would
has
take
to
a
be
while
fine
for
in
him
general.
to kind of get the players under him and be able to get some good lineups going, but he's done a great job so far, I believe. And um, it's just it's just too hard to get super excited about the regular season at this point. I think the Stars actually lead the league in regular season points in the last 3 seasons. All 3 seasons have ended in the Western Conference Finals. So, um, it's hard. They look like the same old Stars from years prior. Um, they didn't do too much in the offseason to kind of change that. I like that they got Foxa back. But I mean, it's gonna be they got to be aggressive in the deadline. They got to be aggressive with, maybe trading for another defensive player, especially with Harley being kind of off the ice for a little bit now. Obviously, the deadline's a far way away. Harley's probably, knock on wood, gonna be healthy at that point of the season. Obviously, he's not gonna be out for long. But it's maybe a top six guy. I know Craig Lugwood said that, but I think they need to lean on defense as well here. The defense has been pretty bad so far to start this season, and so, um, yeah, still still head high on the Stars. Best team in Dallas right now, most competent team in Dallas. Unfortunately, the team that's lost 3 years straight in the Western Conference Finals is that, but hey, that's still a very hard feat to get to. So, but the thing that's been interesting recently is that you know our teams are fighting. Our teams are fighting. The Stars and Mavericks. I don't know if you can really call the Mavs our team anymore because it seems like it's the ownership's team. But in the recent filing of this legal issue that these two teams are having is that the Stars have recently cited that the Mavericks are headquartered, or they put in their name that they are headquartered in Las Vegas. I mean, obviously the owners are from Vegas. They own casinos in Vegas. But shouldn't the Mavericks, I mean, why are you putting the Mavericks headquartered in Vegas? What's up with that? You know?
This is disgusting. And, we know what this is. It was conspiracy at first, but with that news breaking out, it's starting to feel like more of a reality. And at this point, just go. I said that to you yesterday. I feel rips my heart out as a lifelong fan. Terry, Luka Doncic, so many legends doesn't care about the fans. They clearly been about the money. At this point, we know what the it's been. Patrick Dumont, who is the husband, time to divide the fan base up. So this team has played thus far this year. They want to divide this fan base up, make them less passionate. You'll see that it usually is we have the fans leave and not show up to support the team. That's perfect for them to say, you know what? Oh, it's the fans' fault. Let's dip to Las Vegas, which is our plan the whole time. And they'll blame us when they wanted to go the whole time. So that's just how ownership has gone. You see it with the Oakland A's and how they've dipped, and the Raiders of how they've dipped. So very sad, honestly, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I don't see again. I got a massive side on Patrick Dumont. I think that he's talking about being committed to Dallas is just shady. It seems like there's some, some hands being crossed or fingers being crossed behind his back when he says that stuff. And you know, I I'm if they go to Vegas, obviously I'll be devastated. I have some Maverick stuff all over. I think I'll believe that, hopefully they'll change the name, change the brand if they were to move to Vegas, be the Gamblers or something. Not the Mavericks. The Mavericks do kind of fit for a Vegas team. But if obviously Dallas will get another NBA team in no time, and hopefully it would just be back to the Mavericks, and maybe Mark Cuban leads the team again or something, and you get some old faces in there, and it feels like the Mavericks again. But um, I'll obviously be devastated. The Mavericks, they just I feel like the Stars, I feel like the Stars are like Dallas's worst enemy for some of these sports teams, other than the Stars, of course, because they're naturally not really a team that gets talked about a lot within Dallas. Obviously, Dallas is a good hockey city. The Stars have very dedicated fans. They're not just, they're not like the Florida Panthers, they're not like Florida Panthers fans or something like that. They're not Vegas fans either. They are real fans, and I think that I think that sometimes when they get the attention, taken off from the Mavericks, when the Cowboys or the Mavericks or the Rangers are playing bad, some people always be like, at least the Stars are playing good. They've always been able to steal the spotlight from the other teams just because they've been the only competent team in the place in the Metro for the last 10 or so years. And I think that teams get jealous from the Stars sometimes. And maybe that's what they're doing here in the American Airlines Center lawsuit. I highly doubt that. I think that these are just business people that don't understand the context of, um, you know, Dallas sports and the emotion that can be caught up in, the Mavericks and being both a Mavs and Stars fan. I think that they're just, I think they're just greedy business people. But it could also be because the Stars are just, they're always competitive and they're always stealing spotlights from the other major teams in Dallas. So
I like that perspective. It does feel like jealousy sometimes. It really does. Um, Mark Cuban. I don't know if I can ever forgive you, man. You have just selling the majority stake is just it's changed the game in Dallas for Fort Worth sports. I can't believe it. I love Mark Cuban, but man, he really dropped the ball with the stake. Then
they might be
again, I
going
don't have
crazy.
then again, I don't have billions of dollars. I'm not a businessman. But come on, man, look what's happened since he sold this stake. It's unreal to watch how the Mavericks have been unraveled. They've been one of the better examples of, at least a consistent front office presence that cares about sports in America. one of the best, even with, lousy general managers that he's had and guys like Donnie Nelson and a poor lead in basketball operations that Cuban has been here and there. At least the team has been consistent in showing that they care about building a winning franchise. I don't know if we see that with the DeMonts, and it's only been a year and some change of their ownership. Very sad.
The Stars definitely think a lot more long term. That's why they've been able to avoid a rebuild for so long, unlike the Mavericks who have gone through now probably going to be two rebuilds in the span of I would say about 10 years. And so it's a th this lawsuit. Obviously, I think a lot of people are siding with the Stars. So, hopefully they can make some sense in the Mavericks, maybe humble them a little bit because they seem like they're just getting a little too out of hand. They've obviously been out of hand since the Luka trade, but this is just to top it all off with Dallas sports. The whole pandemonium of this year is that now they're going up against each other in suits. They're going to court together. So this is you know, can't make this shit up.